Hi there and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Bailey Alicanto Porto. You join me on a very windy day. So these videos are essentially a how-to of how to set up the caravan as if you're getting to site. So starting off front, you've got your hitch head at the front with black lever. Now you have to pull up the black lever and wind the jockey wheel down at the same time to allow the hitch head to come on. Once the hitch head is on, there'll be a green ring that is exposed just underneath that red button. Then have your handbrake just here, as well as 13-pin electric. So if you do a 7-pin adaptation, make sure that you're bringing yourself an adapter, and then you've got your jockey wheel on the side. Now we are using our test equipment today. So first up, insert just here for your mains. Just push it in and it will activate the mains as long as you're plugged in on site. Then 2 inserts at the back and 2 inserts at the side you have for your legs. Now the caravan itself comes with a leg winder. However, if you'd like this to be a little bit quicker, you can grab yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill, attach it onto there and wind down all your legs. Now you don't want to attempt to jack up or level the caravan using your legs. So first level using the jockey wheel and stabilise using all 4 corner steadies. On the opposite side just here, starting off, this first cap here is where you'll insert for your water. So your water pump inserts into here. You can then put this cap down like that to lock it into place. Not running any water through it today as the caravan has just been drained off, but all you do, insert it into there and put your strainer inside the acrol full of clean drinking water. Main thing to note, the strainer that sits at the bottom of your water pump, make sure that sits at the bottom of the barrel. Then just here you have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with that except make sure it's nice and clean. Then here you've got your gas bottle locker. So we're using propane gas here. Now you can use butane if it is your preference. I'd always recommend propane though. I've got an in-date gas hose connected onto this regulator. Connection either side, nice and tight. And then all you do is twist this in the positive or open direction, and that will begin to feed gas through into the caravan. Not going to show you motor movement on the video, we'll show you that on collection. Just here you've got 2 inserts just behind the axle, and that is where your wastewater will come out. And you need 28.5mm waste pipe to feed into your wastebaster to then empty on site. Then these 2 parts here are for your toilet. This top one is for your flush capacity. It can hold around 12 litres of water. I usually put in around 10, and you could also add a little bit of pink chemical which works as a bleach without being corrosive to make it smell a bit nicer as well. That opens and shuts using your key. Then just below you have your cassette toilet. As you can see right now, this orange handle is sat behind these white teeth, so it can't be removed. To remove it, press up on the orange handle and pull out just like so. You can also extend this out by pressing up and pulling out, and it turns it into a little bit of a suitcase. So let me just click that back into place. There we go. Then once you've got to your emptying point on site, you want to twist that head to the side, open up this cap. You want to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, you want to continually press in this vent button. What I would recommend you do afterwards is open up this bit there, then open that up, swill in some fresh water and shut both of those 2 parts again, give it a little bit of a shake, and again tilt and vent. Then on this cap here you have measurement in both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. The blue chemical goes into that cap, goes onto the top part there, twist the head back to the side, pick up the cassette, push it back. So again, that orange handle sits behind those white teeth. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so to fully empty that flush tank, you have this little black lead here, which you just open up the bung and removes any water. And then underneath your right hand side seat, you have both your boiler just here. But the main thing I want to note, if you can see it just there, is that yellow valve. That is your drain off valve. When it is in the vertical position, it allows the water to be drained out. You want it in the horizontal position when you want water to flow through. As you leave today, we are going to keep it in the vertical position for you. I'd also recommend November to March, if you're not actively using the caravan, have it up permanently. And anytime you leave site, just before you go, give the caravan a quick drain off. And then underneath your left hand side seats, you have both your trips and fuses and your ignition point for your motor mover. If this isn't then underneath just here, you've got a little flap that opens up right next to the door. You have both your trips and fuses, all your trips in the upright position and all your fuses in the correct position as well. Then here we have your outer control panel. So this is the home screen. The home screen shows you the internal temperature of the caravan, which is right now 24 degrees. You have an on and off button just here, so off, and then on. It will flash up, show all the stuff, proudly made in Sweden. And then you press that menu button and it takes you to this. The first row that has the house with the thermometer in it, that is the temperature you would like the caravan to be. Everything else from now on is touchscreen. So you can go up and down, it goes up and down in 0.5. Whatever you select it to is what it will get to. Obviously it's not instantaneous. It takes a little bit of time. I've had the caravan on for about half an hour and going from a chilly, 5-6 degrees outside to now being 24.5 degrees. So it is fairly fast. Next up, you've got the shower icon. So for the shower icon, this is for the hot water temperature. Ignore the phone. So you can either have that bar mid or full. Now I'm just going to turn that off as we're not running any water through and I don't want to damage the boiler. Mid will get the temperature of the water to around about that 40 to 50 mark, and full will prioritize the water temperature over the hot water for around about 15 minutes and then drop it back down to that mid bar position. So that's ideal if you just wanted a quick shower or something like that, but as I said, it prioritizes the hot water rather than the heating. So if you do have that and you may be wondering why isn't the heating being that fast, it may be because of that. Then you have energy source. So for energy source, you've got a choice. You can either use strictly gas by pressing in that icon. Strictly means with 1, 2 or 3 kilowatts. Now do be aware that some sites do not have 3 kilowatt capacity, or they may have 3 kilowatt capacity, however they've got too many people on. So I'd say 2 kilowatts is absolutely fine. Or if you want a mixture of both, you press in both there and you can see I can have it on 1, 2 or 3. I'm just going to keep it on 2 kilowatts. Then you've got some additional settings. Now, not going to run through all of these with you. There are a few different bits for you, like screen brightness, if it beeps when you press, and a few other bits. If you'd like to know about that, have a look inside your handbook and there's plenty of information on it. I'm just showing you how to essentially set it up. Then to turn it off, press that icon there, comes up off, and then it'll go grey screen. Then just here you have your main control panel. So this turns on and off using that button there, master off and now master on. You then have this here, which allows you to go up and down, and a few different bits come up. First up, you've got some settings. To enter settings, you press this button here, go inside, display, sound, temperature unit, notifications, tells you what software it's on and firmware and all these other bits as well. And then save and exit by pressing in that. Next up, you've got pump select. So you've either got the choice of external pump, So straight from the Acro or internal pump. Now you can fill using the internal pump first. You have to press in the pump button by just going like that, which engages the pump. Obviously I'm just going to press it once just to show you it says pump on, and then press it off again to show you it says pump off. So internal or external. Now the internal pump itself is underneath the bed, and you can access to see how much water is inside. There's not like a percentage thing or anything like that. By opening up that cap, seeing inside how much water there is. Now we currently have it set just here, which you can see in the drain position. So when that valve is facing towards the front of the caravan, that's in the drain position. When you want to use it, you flick it to the other position, and you ignore my phone. But obviously you keep this cap on here, which you can just twist to turn it on and off, which is a little awkward to do when you've got a phone filming you and you've got a little bit of pressure on you. There we go. There you go. So you have that nice and tight just there, and that's underneath the bed itself. Now coming back to this, going through the settings still, shows the internal temperature. Now that will differ slightly to the outer panel. Have turned the outer panel off now though, so maybe accurate 21 degrees right now. There's always going to be a little bit of difference between them. Then it shows the leisure battery voltage. Now we are plugged into mains right now, so it's not going to give an accurate reading for the battery itself, but it shows 13.4 volts coming into the caravan. And then the time there, you can change the time in settings. You then have lights on and off, and then you just use your respective light switches. And then awning light is this button here. Press it in, awning off, awning on. Go outside and you can see the awning light is on. Then to turn this off, press in just there. Then here we have your fridge operation. So as you can see right now, no lights inside the fridge, meaning it's not on. To turn it on, you press and hold on this dial in the middle, and you can see there that that screen comes on. That screen is what allows you to choose the source and choose the amount of power coming in. To select what you want, you have 3 different levels. So first one is for the amount of power coming in. Thicker the bar, the more power coming in. Next one is for the energy source, and then a few additional settings. So you press in on the dial, and then you can choose by selecting turning the dial side to side. First up, change the amount of power coming in, left to right, right to left, and then press in on the dial to select it. Next row, you have to press in, then flick down once, and this takes you to the power source. You have auto, gas, car battery, or mains. Auto will automatically choose what the fridge thinks is the best source to use. Car battery is for when you're plugged in with 13-pin electric. Now, if you are using an adapter, as if you've got 7-pin, it may be a case that that function may be locked and not able to use just because you don't have a continuous 12-volt feed coming into the caravan. And you can see as well, it does time out when you begin to yap. Gas. Now for gas, so whatever is bordered is what you can select, and then you press in and it goes blue, and then go off by pressing on that. Now for gas, it's a case you have to gradually wait for the gas to tick in. Then once it's finished ticking, that means that it is then lit. So for now, just so I don't waste gas, put it on electric. And then last row is some additional settings. So you've got brightness of the fridge, you've got sound, you've got a ventilation for it to allow the fan to spin, and then you have fast freeze. Select that, and the freezer will be prioritized, allow you to freeze it faster. Now, With this fridge, it does take around 4 hours for it to fully chill. So whilst you are traveling, I would recommend that you have it on the car battery setting, and then it's nice and cold for whenever you get to your destination. And to turn this fridge off, as you don't want to travel with the fridge on if you're not going to chill it, you press and hold on this button here and the screen goes black. Then just here you've got your cooker. Now this works standard to any sort of gas cooker that you may have at home. Only difference is you've got an electric plate. Just choose whatever icon you'd like it to be at and it will get to that gas mark essentially. Everything else you press in the dial and twist it to the side, and at the same time pressing in your igniter. Now this is what it looks like when they're all lit, and here you can see nice blue clean continuous flames. Turn it off, back to the central position. What I would say, when you first initially put the gas on into the caravan, wait about a minute or two, and then first thing that you should check is on your cooker. Make sure everything is lighting, make sure everything is good. If not, just go outside and check your gas bottle. Now next up, you've got your grill, and you can see again both sides nice and lit. And finally the oven, and again that is all lit there for you. Only other real thing to note, don't put down this glass sheet, as it says here, once the burners are alight, and wait until they're all cold to the touch, as it may shatter it. You do want to travel with that down as well. Then lastly, we've got your toilet capacity. This is bog simple. When the cassette is full and you need to empty it, just underneath there, there'll be a red light come on. That is essentially telling you, empty the cassette, it can sense it's full. Then you pull up this here, and this is when you're wanting to use flush. You press in on the button. It will kick in a motor, which if you are with water filled in, it will push around that water. Once it has done that, go down to the bottom, push away the handle, opens it up, shut it back, and shuts the cassette. Simple as that.